Hi, John Morgan here with Bob's Market and Greenhouses, and welcome to this week's episode of Bob's Live, our weekly show right here on the internet. And to get things started off today, I just want to send out a quick reminder about our Yard of the Month contest. Submissions for July are due by Tuesday, July 31st at 5 p.m. That's the end of business here. And you can email your submissions to ask@bobsmarket.com and I'll get those. For more instructions on how to do it, there's a post on our blog. And let's take a look now at the local weather here for the Mid-Ohio Valley. And I just took a screenshot of the radar because we have a line of thunderstorms that's getting ready to move into the area. Let me blow that up for you. But these storms, they're moving in and they're going to be moving through. It's really nothing major. But you know, if you're out driving, expect some heavy rain in the next few minutes. And speaking of this rain, it's much needed, so it's really helping out our area. And bear with me today, I've got a cold, so I might cough here and there. But anyhow, looking ahead toward next week, this weekend we're looking, it's going to be pretty warm and pretty humid. Mid-80s tomorrow, up around 90 degrees on Sunday. And throughout next week, I didn't really put it into the forecast here because overall it's going to be, you know, a mix of clouds and sun. But there is going to be the lingering chance pretty much all week for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm here and there. And moving on into Monday and Tuesday, the temperatures are still going to be up there. Not really up into heat wave levels, you know, up around 100, but it's still going to be pretty warm out. And then Wednesday and Thursday, things are going to cool off just a hair, but still it's going to be pretty warm. Our next shot at some really widespread rain looks like it's going to be on toward next weekend. And if we take a look at the national weather, going back to the radar image that we just looked at, here is the national map, and it shows a front that's getting ready to move over top of us. So that's what's generating that line of thunderstorms that's getting ready to move through the area. And if we look at cloud cover, it's a pretty cloudy, kind of dreary day outside. Which actually, you know, if this were wintertime, it would be a normal day, but it's actually kind of a nice break from the weather that we've been having today. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be much sunnier and much nicer weather throughout the area. And again, next week it's going to be hot, but not as bad as it has been. And if we move on to our allergy forecast, the pollen levels are pretty low right now. We're down around a 2.4 on the scale, which is down toward the lower end of our scale. And of course, the main pollen concerns, as they have been the past few weeks, is grass and weed pollen. We're actually moving toward our next big grass bloom. You know, a lot of the hay fields got cut in May and early June, and that's starting to grow back up now, so it's going to come out in bloom, you know, later on toward fall. So the grass pollen levels will continually start to climb from now to, say, mid-August, early September. And last week, I talked about the OFA Short Course and how you could follow along on our blog as we went to Short Course. So, over the weekend, You know, I went out and I was out there Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and I got some pictures and some video to share with you. But this year, for the Duman booth, Bulbs Market, we actually grew the flowers for it. And if you took a look at the blog or get our newsletter, I had some information about Sam Kass, who was the keynote speaker. He is the assistant chef at the White House. And he shared some very interesting facts, and it's some stuff that I want to repeat on here. Of course, you can get the full story over on our blog. But here were some important points that he had, and let me blow this up so you can see it better. The White House vegetable garden, it's the first one since World War II, and that one, it was kind of a small garden just to show people how to make a victory garden. It wasn't really used to supply the kitchen in the White House. This is the first garden that's been used for the kitchen since the 1890s. And so far it's produced around 4,000 pounds of produce, which is amazing for an 1,100 square foot garden. And 1/3 of that produce has been donated locally. And he also brought up some very important points that we all need to be looking at as a nation. Healthy food has become a huge issue, and childhood obesity has really taken off. And as he said, it's one of our greatest threats, if not the greatest threat, to our national security. Currently, 27% of 17 to 24-year-olds are unable to join the military due to obesity. And I thought some of those figures were kind of frightening. I mean, it's really up to us, the gardeners, to get out there and share the knowledge of fresh grown produce, you know, healthy foods. And you can go over to our blog, and I did a full write-up of notes that I took during his keynote presentation. And check it out. He has some really interesting statistics that he shared, and some very important points. And, you know, I may not agree with all of the politics, but this is truly a bipartisan issue. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, healthy food and healthy eating is something that we all can get behind. And while I was out at OFA, I shot some video. So let's take a look at that video now.
On behalf of the President and the First Lady, I just want to thank you for the service and the work that you're doing in so many diverse ways. You're helping to ensure that our world is flourishing and that it's alive. Plants are the foundation of life, and your knowledge and wisdom are helping to keep the health of the nation strong.
And well, that's our show for this week. Join me next week here at 4 o'clock on Friday for our next episode of Bulbs Market Live. See you later.